悪霊退散.
Today we have here what is quite possibly the biggest story ever in terms of Tekken, and it's one of the biggest in terms of the FGC. What I will say at the start is that some of this information I am skeptical of myself, and I had to do a lot of research to try and verify what is actually being said here. And from the conclusions that I came to, this is coming from a legit source, and the information we're looking at is true. Now, if there is any deviations, if Arslan says anything, if this organization speaks out, if Tekken says anything, if there's anything that happens after this moment, I will make a follow-up video and try to correct anything that I get wrong in this video, because by no means do I want to add to the chaos that is going to unfold. It all starts with this tweet here where someone says Arslan Ash banned by IESF for doping. What's going on? Now, this is a crazy thing here alone because Arslan is one of the best Tekken players to ever do it. When you talk about the greatest of all times, Arslan's name is definitely, one to consider because he's won like 5 Evos and he's been playing the game for at like a competitive high level Tekken World Tour type for like 6 years. So if you just talk about how much he's accomplished in such a short time, I mean, it's nothing to scoff at. If you look at his description on Twitter alone, it says player for Red Bull Gaming and Twisted Minds, 2 massive sponsors, and then 5-time Evo champion, Tekken World Tour 2023 champion, and there's many other tournaments that bro has won. We can sit here and look at all of it and just scoff at his accomplishments. And we will take a look at the year 2022 specifically because that is the one that's going to be in question. But then also everything else will be in question because when you talk about someone getting caught for using steroids, they've been caught for 1 year, but what about all the other years? That's the question. So this tweet, I went and found the source, and it comes from this website. I had never been on this website ever before, so I had to research to make sure it was a legit website. This is the homepage that you're looking at. You see World Esports IESF. International Esports Federation. When you scroll down, you can see like some news, some things that's happening. You can see other games here. Esports by the numbers, 2 million enthusiasts. So this is just like a general page, right? Now, when I went all the way down to the bottom here to check out their social medias, once again, just to verify that this is like a legit thing, I clicked on their Twitter and I seen that Arslan and Nee are following this account. That kind of just makes it even more credible that 2 of the best Tekken players to ever play is also following this. Their description says non-governmental and non-profit organization. And now when we focus our sights on the news article actually in question, it's this one here. Official statement on anti-doping violation WEC 2022. It says here, June 19th, 2025. So we're discovering this a couple of weeks after this article was published. It says official statement on anti-doping rule violation WEC 2022. The International Esports Federation, which is the IESF, and its continued commitment to integrity and fair play reports the outcome of an anti-doping rule violation identified during the World Esports Championship 2022. So this is the WEC 2022. So to try to get an understanding of what the IESF World Championship 2022 is, this is a tournament that was held back in 2022. The credited commentators are Rip and Tasty Steve. First place goes to Arslan Ash for $12,000. This is back when he was sponsored to Fate Esports. Second place, Daniel Motto. Third place, Yordies. Fourth place is Jorky, and you can see the other names here. And also note as well that the game that they're playing at the time is Tekken 7, and the tournament type is offline, location is Bali. I feel like all of this information is important to understand because we're dealing with a very, serious situation. But I mean, if you get caught using steroids for one tournament, people would probably then question whether or not you use it for every tournament. But going back to this web page here, it says the IESF reports that athlete Arslan, and then that's his last name, Arslan Ash, who represented Pakistan and won the Tekken 7 title, was sanctioned with a 2-year period of ineligibility after testing positive for 19 strong. I had to look up the pronunciation of all of these words, but basically these are different type of steroids, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4 listed here. So there's 4 different type of steroids that he basically was caught using. It says following an in-competition doping control on 10 December 2022. One thing that makes me question this, and I don't know anything about any of this, so I'm definitely going to be looking at the comments to see, what I get wrong and what I'm misunderstanding. But why did it take so long for this information to be made public? We're talking about a Tekken 7 tournament that happened in 2022 December. We're like 3 years later. From what I understand about like the Olympics and things of that sort, when someone shows up and they're full of steroids, they get found out immediately. So why did this one take 3 years, and why was this published just now? That's just my questions, me being kind of like new to this type of conversation. It continues and says all above mentioned substances are prohibited substance under the World Anti-Doping Prohibited List. More specifically, all substances were listed as prohibited substance under Class S1 A1 anabolic androgenic steroids of WADA 2022 prohibited list. And this is something that I can confirm. When I was doing research for this video and I was looking up all of these different type of drugs, all of them in their description said banned by IESF. It's kind of like the known fact when you're dealing with these kind of drugs. And just to give you an example of what I mean, I'll show you this one here where you can see the AI summary, and it says, where does it say it at? Included in World Anti-Doping Agency's list of prohibited substances. And yeah, so you guys can pause and read this if you really want to like look into the details. I definitely suggest you do that. But if we continue, it says the sanction was issued by the IESF hearing panel in accordance with the Article 812 of the IESF anti-doping rules, which are fully aligned with the World Anti-Doping Code. The period of ineligibility was effective from 26 April 2023 until 25 April 2025, per article of the IESF ADR. So it seemed like he was banned for 2 years, and now that ban has just been lifted, which is probably why this article has just been posted, because it's saying that he is now unbanned and he can compete again. But since, basically the entire Tekken community and the FGC is being made aware of this, I wonder what the ramifications will be, because there was probably many other tournaments that he competed for during the time of this December 2022 run, and I wonder if any of those like Combo Breaker CEO, if any of those guys will have something that they want to say about this, or even Bandai Namco as a whole. Bandai Namco has seemingly been cracking down on cheating, on toxic behavior, and steroids and doping is something that they would maybe acknowledge. I don't know. We'll leave that to them. We'll see what they decide to do. But continuing reading, it says the athletes' results earned at the WE 2022, all corresponding medals, titles, awards, points, prizes, and appearance and monies, etc., were automatically disqualified. So when you look at this page here, and you know how I said he won $12,000, so that was disqualified and they took that money away. I wonder if Daniel Motto can, because I could be wrong on this, but if first place get disqualified, second place then becomes first place, and if Daniel Motto becomes first place, he would then be given the 12,000, and the 8,000 goes to second, and the 3,000 goes to fifth. So maybe he can confirm whether or not he received the 12,000 or whether he only got 8,000, or maybe this will be news to him as well. The athletes' results between 10 December 2022 and 26 April 2023 were also disqualified, with resulting consequences as described Article 1010 of the IESF ADR. As a signatory of the WADA, IESF conducts the anti-doping test every sanctioned tournament, enforcing our commitment to clean sports and credibility of the international esports competition. IESF reiterates its zero tolerance policy towards doping and will continue to take the necessary measures to protect the health, safety, and fairness of esports competition worldwide. So at this point in time, Arslan has not made a statement about this. His most recent tweet is just talking about the balancing behind Brian and Anna, but I'm sure people are going to be sending him this. People are going to be asking him questions, and once he does respond, I will make a video about that. But the one thing that I do want to do as well is just look at his record as a player, because if he was doping then, I'm not saying he is, but it's a question that people are going to be asking. And when you look at his performance, this is the most recent one. What I want to focus on here is all of the, like, you know, bronze orange type of color, the dirty yellow. All of these are first place finishes, and the ones that you see on your screen now are 2022. So from here, how can I do it? So from here all the way down is everything that he's won in the year 2022. And you can see here the second one on the list is the tournament that where he was caught doping. He's been winning a lot this year, and he's been winning a lot his whole career. The questions are going to pop up, and it's really shocking to see this happen. You know, Arslan is a player whose journey I follow thoroughly. I love rooting for the guy. I love rooting for all of these guys. And to see something like this, I mean, you never want to see something like this. You have a professional player being caught using steroids. Once we get more information about this, I'll make a follow-up video, but that's it for now. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and bye-bye.